What I had done was allowed. It was above board. But in retrospect, certainly, as I look back at it now, even though it was allowed, I should have used two accounts, one for personal, one for work-related emails. That was a mistake. I'm sorry about that. I take responsibility. And I'm trying to be as transparent as I possibly can to not only release 55,000 pages of my emails, turn over my server, but I am looking forward, finally, to testifying before Congress, something I've been asking for nearly a year.
Yeah, all right. Joining us now, Larry Klayman, founder of Freedom Watch, and, of course, former federal prosecutor. Larry, how are you? So, you know, a day or two ago, she wasn't going to apologize. She wipe it with a cloth, and now she's to me, she hasn't apologized. She says she's sorry for, you know, using two emails. They're sorry for the confusion it's caused. That's hardly an apology in my view, but what's your take on this new approach?
From a human standpoint, Steve, what is she apologizing for? You're absolutely right. She's sorry for herself. Later in that interview, there are crocodile tears about her mother. She must have taken acting lessons before this. But the reality is she's scared. You can hear it in her voice. For the first time, she's being held to account. And it's not just a question of these emails being classified and violating the national security laws, but these emails will likely show, when they're recreated from the server, if the FBI is able to do that, that she was taking bribes. In other words, she was selling access to the Obama administration through the State Department in exchange for large contributions to the foundation that she, her husband, and her daughter run, as well as large speaking fees. So she is in a pack of trouble. And for the first time, I have to tell you, I think she's finished. I think she's toast. Stick a knife in her. She's toast.
Okay, well, we will wait and see how that all progresses. Let's talk a little bit about the NSA and the lawsuit. Of course, you got beaten in court. You got a decision that was detrimental to your lawsuit against Obama a couple of weeks ago. We talked about that. Where are we going from here?
Last Wednesday, we had a hearing with Judge Richard Leon. He's the judge that entered the preliminary injunction against the NSA and President Obama and others, saying that they could not grab the telephone records, not just of yours truly and my clients, but of all Americans. That went up to the District of Columbia Court of Appeals, the D.C. Circuit, and the D.C. Circuit sent it back to Leon, saying that there needed to be more information about whether or not they actually had my phone records and whether we had the right company that we had sued, Verizon Wireless, as opposed to Verizon Business Services. Well, we had this hearing, and the judge repeated at least 5 to 10 times. This was a massive violation of the Constitution. He's not going to stand for it. He asked me if I could amend the complaint to moot out anything the D.C. Circuit said with regard to suing the correct company. We did. We found a new plaintiff. We added him to the case. And in fact, we have another hearing set for next Wednesday, and I suspect that the judge is going to move this case forward. That's what he said he's going to do, and he's going to find out for sure that they have our information, because they have everybody's information. But this is a very, very important victory for the American people. We can't have our government spying on us, and it explains a lot of the weird things that happen, maybe even the D.C. Circuit's opinion, where they sat on this case for 2 years, and the judge pointed out, in effect, that this was unconscionable because the rights of Americans are being violated every single day, and the Constitution's being trashed. And in fact, the D.C. Circuit's own authority says you can't allow that to continue for even one day. So it was a very important hearing, and we're confident that we're going to get a preliminary injunction
moving forward,
ordering the NSA to stop spying on us.
All right, let me ask you about this. We have word that Ben Carson has come out against Donald Trump's immigration plan. Of course, we had earlier in the show Tom Tancredo, who also said he vehemently disagrees with Donald Trump, saying we need to let the quote-unquote Syrian refugees into this country. What's your take? We got about a minute.
Well, Carson and Tom Tancredo are absolutely right. We're in a state of war. We can't allow Syrian refugees to come in, even if they claim they're Christian. You know, I've been to Jerusalem. Palestinians, when they want work, as cab drivers say they're Jewish. We can't let them into this country. But what you can do, maybe find an island somewhere where there's an economy, settle them there, keep them out of the United States. Already Europe is a ticking time bomb ready to blow up with all the Muslims there. We can't allow this. And Carson and Tancredo are absolutely right. So I hope that Donald Trump, who I'm an admirer of his in terms of the things he's been saying, I hope that he modifies his opinion, because he's just undercut his immigration policy. Obviously, Syrian refugees are more of a threat than even Mexicans are, who are...
Right, because you don't know how many terrorists are among them. Larry, appreciate talking to you, sir. Thank you. Give Me 5 is next, folks. Don't go away. Hey, folks, Ben Carson has risen 13 points up to 18% in the latest national poll. He did that in 1 month. He's got a great new book out called One Nation, and you can get your copy absolutely free from Newsmax by calling the number on your screen and going to the website newsmax.com/Ben. Call 800-655-7567 and get the great book by Ben Carson.